Okay, hello everyone. We meet again in our ESP subject and welcome back to the online session. So for this session, we are going to discuss about needs analysis. Okay, so when we are talking about need analysis, I think in the beginning of the semester, I have told you that in ESP, need analysis is a must. Yeah, we need to do need analysis before we start our teaching. Now, here if we compare between ESP and GE, ESP always starts with the question, why do these learners need to learn English? But in GE, sometimes we don't ask the same question. So what distinguishes ESP from general English? It is the awareness of the need. So in ESP, we need to be aware of the learner's need, why they want and they need to learn English, the reasons behind their willingness to study English. But in GE, sometimes we are not really aware about the learner's need. So this is something, yeah, which differentiates ESP from GE. Or we can say that the awareness of the need is higher in ESP than those in GE. Okay? Next, so why do we need to know the learner's need? So here, if the needs of the learners are known, then we have the awareness about the need. Yeah, and the awareness of the needs will influence the content of the course, the program that we design. So if we know the learner's need, we can deliver the reasonable content, the contents which are really needed by our students. Okay, I hope this is understandable. Okay, next. So there are some issues or problems, let's say. Yeah, number one, any course actually should be based on analysis of learner need. However, the tradition persists in GE that the learner needs cannot be specified, and therefore no attempt is usually made to discover learners' true needs. So here there is a tradition in general English. Yeah, people believe that learner needs cannot be specified. We cannot identify the learner's need. That's why we make no effort. There is no attempt, yeah, to discover the learner's true needs. So this is the issue and problem in GE. Now, in ESP, of course, we believe that needs analysis or NA should be done, yeah, so that we know the real need of the learners, we are aware of the needs, and we are aware of the target situation. So one example of the need analysis is the Communication Needs Processor or CNP by Munby 1978. Okay, this is the example. Now, so CNP here, yeah, consists of a range of questions about the topic, the participant, the medium. And with the development of CNP, it seemed as if ESP had come of age. Yeah, it's time for ESP to do the same thing, need analysis. Okay, so in need analysis, there are two terms. Number one, target needs, and the second one is learning needs. So what is meant by target needs? So target needs are what learner needs to do in the target situation. Yeah, what our students need to do in the target situation. For example, if we are teaching a group of doctors, so you need to imagine in the target situation, in the real situation that the doctors will experience, what should they do? Yeah. Okay, and then learning needs. What learner needs to do in order to learn. So this is all about the learning itself. In order for them to be able to learn, what should they do? Okay, so there are two differences here. Target needs is what the learner should do in the target situation, and in learning needs, what students need to do to enable them to learn. Okay, now here in target needs, there are three items. Number one is called necessities, the second one is lacks, and the third one is wants. Okay, so necessities mean what students have to know to function effectively in target situation. So the necessities, in order for the doctors to be able to communicate effectively when they are working in a hospital, so what should they know? So this is called necessities. And lacks mean what students have not known, or the gap between target proficiency and existing proficiency. So what the students have not mastered is called lacks. And wants is the personal subjective images of the needs on the basis of the data relating to themselves and their environment. Okay, so people always have the needs, the necessities, lacks, and wants. Necessities are everything that we need to master. Lacks are some parts that we haven't mastered. So this need to be supported, okay? And wants. On the other hand, we also have wants. This is our personal needs. For example, doctors focusing on speaking skill, Receptionists should learn the speaking skills more rather than, for example, reading or writing. However, receptionists also have the wants, their own desire to learn something. So what should we prioritize? Necessities, lacks, or wants? If possible, we need to accommodate and teach all of them. However, remember the priority is to enable the students to function effectively in their office, in their work. So you need to pay attention to the necessities, and then what they haven't mastered, the lacks, and you can spare some time, a little time, to support or to accommodate their wants, their desire to learn something else. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. Next. Now, what should the teachers do? Okay, the teachers, of course, like us, need to be aware of the differences of students' necessities, lacks, and wants. You need to be clear, about what they have to master, what they must master, what they haven't mastered, and their wants. Something which is actually not needed in their work, but they want to learn it. And then, if possible, take account of them in materials and methodology. Present the materials which they need and also which they want. And then, learners' perceived wants cannot be ignored as this relates to students' motivation. If students want to learn something, try to present them. If no, they will not be motivated to learn, because what they learn in a classroom are not what they want. Okay, is this clear to you all? I hope so. Okay, next. Now, how to do needs analysis? So in order for us to find out, to discover students' necessities, lacks, and wants, we need to do needs analysis. So we can do needs analysis by doing a survey, like distributing questionnaire. We can do interview, we can do observation, or we can have informal consultation with the sponsors, their boss, for example, the directors of the managers of the hotel, for example, or just consult with the learners themselves or the other parties, for example. Okay, so that you know the information about what they need, what they want, what they haven't mastered, for example. Okay, next about the target situation analysis, yeah. So in analysis, we will ask several questions like why is the target language needed? How will the language be used? What will the content areas be? Who will the learner use the language with? Where will the language be used? And when will the language be used? Okay, let's see one by one. Number one, why is the language needed? Is it for study, for work, for training? A combination of these for other purposes, exam, promotion, only for status. So we need to find out from our learners why they need to learn English. Second, how will the language be used in their work, for example? So will they use more speaking, reading, or writing skills through what channel, telephone, or face-to-face communication? And about the types of discourse that they will find, is it academic text, lectures, informal conversation, technical manuals, catalogs, and so on and so forth. Now, what will the content areas be? Yeah, sorry for the look of the slide. Okay, so subject and level. For example, the subject is about medicine, biology, economics, yeah, mathematics, and so on and so forth. Is it for the technician, secondary school, postgrad? So you need to find out around this as well. And who will the learner use the language with? You need to find out. Will they communicate with native or non-native speakers? What about the relationship? Will they talk to colleague, teacher, customer, superior, subordinate? And then the level of knowledge of the receiver as well. And then where will the language be used? In physical setting like office, with the human context, or linguistic context? Yeah, so the slide is not really clear here, but that's okay. You can imagine if they are in physical context, then a physical setting, then they will be having interaction like in the office, in the meeting room, with the human context. They meet the boss, for example, or just the colleagues. Yeah, so we will discuss this further in the next meeting. And then when will the language be used? So concurrently with ESP course or subsequently at the same time when they are taking the course or after the course finished. Yeah, frequently, seldom, in a small amounts, in large chunks. So we need to find out as well whether they will use English frequently, seldom, rarely. Yeah, okay. And then we also need to ask several questions about learning needs when we do needs analysis. Number one, why are the learners taking the course? How do learners learn? What resources are available? Who are the learners? Where will the ESP course take place? When will the ESP course take place? Now, one by one, why are the learners taking the course? Is it a compulsory or optional? Yeah. Must they take this course, or is it optional? Do they have apparent need or not? Are status, money, promotion involved? What do learners think they will achieve after joining the English subject? What is their attitude towards the ESP course? Do they want to improve their English? You need to find out all of this. Of course, through need analysis. Second, how do learners usually learn? So we need to find out their learning background, yeah, their concept of teaching and learning, the methodology that will appeal to them, yeah, the techniques that are likely to bore them, the techniques of learning that they love much, yeah, find out all of this. And then we also need to ask about the resources available to support their English learning. So number one, the number and professional competence of teachers, attitude of teachers to ESP, teachers' knowledge of and attitudes to the subject, the materials, the aids, opportunities for out-of-class activities. Is it possible for them to join out-of-class activities? Yeah, so we need to ask all of these questions. Who are the learners? Of course, very importantly, we need to ask this kind of question: their age, sexual, sex, yeah, nationality, what do they know already about English, what subject knowledge do they have, their interests, socio-cultural background, teaching styles, yeah, their attitudes to English. Are they happy to learn English, or do they have negative perception about English? We need to find out all of this. And where will the ESP course take place? Yeah, we need to find out. If we are teaching them, where is the classroom? Are the surroundings pleasant, dull, noisy, cold, etc.? Yeah, and then about the time, when will the ESP course take place? The time of the day in the morning, afternoon, evening, every day or once a week, full time or part time, concurrent with the need or pre-need. Yeah, so at the end, we can conclude that analysis of target situation can tell us what people do with the language. Yeah. However, we also need to know how people learn to do what they do with the language. So we need a learning-centered approach to needs analysis. Okay? So again, in need analysis, we need what we call learning-centered approach. Our focus is on enabling learner to learn in a very supporting classroom, conducive classroom, so that they are able to learn the English effectively. So the focus is in enabling them to have optimum learning. Okay, so any question about this? If no, then I think you can try to understand what I have delivered, and if you have question, feel free to ask. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.